You're listening to Fear in the Southwest podcast. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Lewis.
It didn't fade.
Did we set that one up to fade?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to fix that later.
Anyways,
Working on when I get
one time
home.
I was like, oh, no, don't do it. Oh, dang it, I should have done it. Oh, well. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome.
Anyone have any spooky experiences since we've been last recording?
No, just,
No more than usual.
hey, where in the world? I have a pooch that's decided to rest her chin on my leg.
Yeah, she got tired of doing it to me.
See, I had a thing at work thrown at me, lights flickering. We had the book fall here.
Yeah.
You want to tell them what happened?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
I don't know. Waylon went to take a nap, and I was tired, so I was gonna crash out on the couch, and then I put the recliner, and then he went and did his recliner, and we both crashed out, and we woke up to this loud book that fell from the coffee table and like slammed on the floor. But the dogs were also asleep. He was in bed. He couldn't touch it. It was just like, how did that get on the floor?
And
I was asleep for maybe like 30 minutes. It was like a good sleep.
Are you sure Andrew was asleep and not messing with you?
I was asleep. Because we both jumped at the same. What the hell was that?
But what's weird is when it hit the ground, it felt like someone kicked my recliner because I swore like I jiggled.
Wait, you sure it wasn't Yoshi?
Nope. He was in the cat tree sleeping. All the animals were laying down for once. Yeah, they do. Anyways, so yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
so
spooky
that was-
update of the week.
Yeah.
Today's topic though, Valentine's horrors. Valentine's supposed to be a day of love, romance,
Suicide.
chocolates, hearts.
No, I'm not even kidding. There
I know,
lots
I
of
know.
reports of suicide on Valentine's.
That's because the single people are pathetic and lonely.
I'm also talking about the Romeo and Juliet's out there. Yeah, y'all
have
think
their-
that's just a Shakespeare story? No,
They
no.
can't have their love. They don't want any.
Uh-huh.
So there is a dark side to Valentine's
There
Day.
is a dark side to Valentine's. It does make people feel crappy about themselves sometimes.
Come,
I'm one of
join
them.
me on the dark side.
You're in the dark.
Yeah, turn that
Good
down
Lord.
a little bit.
Sorry.
Definitely. But no, there is a dark side to Valentine's Day.
Yeah, there is.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
What's the history of it, Steph?
It just, you know.
Because it has a dark.
It does.
upbringing.
It does. It's based off a dark time, you know, and it's just evolved into like this lovey-dovey thing, but it wasn't in the beginning, you know. In Roman times, you had someone named Valentine, and he would marry Christian people, which there was that gray area between, you know, Roman times and Christianity, and they killed him for it. They beat him, beheaded him, they stoned him.
Yeah, because he was promoting hearsay or heresy.
Yes, heresy, yeah. And, you know, he was executed for that. And he was considered a martyr and then deemed a saint.
Well, what do you expect? It was because the Romans were doing it. If it ain't Catholic, the Romans don't like it. Everybody knows this. Look at Jesus. He got killed.
But that wasn't the Romans that did that.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it was the Romans, but it wasn't the Catholic Church.
No, but they all followed the Catholic Church's teachings. The only Romans
she's
that
like
stepped
over here
away
sweating
from
for something to say.
the only ones that kind of stepped away from it was when England got, England from when the Romans became English instead of Italian.
But no, the Catholic Church was... The Germans actually went away from the Catholic Church first with Lutheranism.
Oh, my bad.
Hey,
Sorry, I forgot about the Germans.
why are you slapping me?
The early German people are also the cause of the fall of Rome as well. When they were more, what do you call it? Not nomads, but like
Warlike?
Pagan.
think of the name. Pagan. They have more pagan traditions, and they. Who am I thinking of? More like druid-like people. You know.
Yeah. So the Catholic Church, or
Oh,
They're-
it's the dog.
the Romans and their Crusades were evil
Yes, very much so.
because they would go after anybody that didn't believe in the Catholic way.
Yep.
Because they tried to go after Lutheranism as well. Didn't work,
Well,
but
the Romans too. They also went after Christians, and then they would put them into, arenas like the Colosseum, and they would have lions feed off of them because they were practicing Christianity. They were trying to spread the word of Jesus, and they were like, "No, we have these gods. These gods are the ones who are responsible for this and that."
yeah. So
It's just
The damn Holy Roman Empire.
So yes, Valentine's Day starts from a dark past.
It does. It does start from a dark past, and
So anything that starts in a dark past,
carries on till today.
it does. Some sad things have happened. Well, Arizona became a state on Valentine's Day.
it did
That's not a sad thing, though.
in 1912.
Just because it's no longer a sad thing. Valentine's Day is now a happy thing, so
Only for the state of Arizona.
that is true.
Then you got Theodore Roosevelt did not have a good Valentine's Day.
No.
His wife and mother died on Valentine's Day.
Well, that's terrible.
Same year?
Same year, hours of each other.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, what did they die of? Was there an accident?
Syphilis?
Mother Mitty died suddenly of typhoid fever, and
Close.
his wife, Bright disease, which is inflammatory kidney disease.
Ouch.
What a positive spin to try
And
to put
she
on that.
just given birth to their daughter Alice 2 days prior to that.
Oh, wow.
The
So
daughter
Val-
survived,
Probably-
though?
Yeah, the daughter survived.
Probably had some type of sepsis.
She probably.
now here's the set. Roosevelt's diary entry for that day was marked with an X and an inscription that said, "The light has gone out of my life."
No.
Valentine's Day is fairly dark. Yes, there's one of mine.
For me, I found an Italian that he'd been convicted of murder and was sentenced to a psychiatric jail facility. He escaped like 6 different times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this guy was something else. He killed 3 people, and one of them was on Valentine's Day. He killed a transvestite by the name of Francisco Penenzi, who was 34, shot him in the mouth.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this guy was something else. The guy's name was Bartolomeo Gagliano. But he was considered mentally ill. He killed the transvestite on February the 14th, 1989.
1989. Oh, wow. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it
4
wasn't.
days after my birthday. What?
But he
Yeah,
was,
pretty much.
Speaking of my birthday, I was supposed to be born on Valentine's Day.
What happened?
Sorry. My
he was stubborn.
My umbilical cord said, "Fuck that! No, you're not being born on Valentine's Day. You're coming 4 days early." So I did.
But
Coming out looking like a Smurf.
But yeah, he was placed in a psychiatric hospital after that murder for 8 years. He escaped 6 times, shot a prostitute in the neck,
In the neck.
but she lived.
Yeah, you can get shot in the neck and live. As long as it doesn't nail the
Yeah,
arteries.
Right. But she was in critical condition for a long time.
I would imagine so, yeah. I mean, you just got shot in the neck.
But the guy,
Took an arrow to the knee.
for some reason, really,
the bullet the Skyrim, didn't you?
but whenever whenever Gagliano's mom got sick, they let him out for a day for compassionate whatever.
A little sabbatical to.
The Italians and their laws are kind of weird when it comes to prisons and stuff.
Well, it's all about family with the Italians.
Well, still, if they're a convicted murderer, they should not be getting out of jail. Period. They should not get out.
True. That's true.
So,
Unless, of course, you have 600 armed guards following this motherfucker all around.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, we got him. Of course, if he tries to make a run from, we got to shoot him. We may have a little bit of collateral damage, but we got him.
but he ended up escaping on the day pass. Ended up in France, where he was supposed to be extradited back to Italy, but instead he went out on his own and was killed himself.
How?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
All those bastards. They build you
They
all
build
up
you
for
up
that,
and
and
then
it's
they
like,
don't tell you.
oh, okay,
And
he
then
killed
they-
himself. Oh, what? How?
And then they died.
There wasn't a lot of explanation
Yeah.
because it was 1989 and European courts don't allow a lot of information to be
Yeah,
put out.
That's true.
Europeans, even with convicts, they still respect the right to privacy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that's the dude I looked up.
Your turn, Steph. She's like, damn it, I wanted to go last.
Okay. Well, mine's a personal experience.
Oh.
So when I was in middle school, I had this boy that had a crush on me,
Aw.
and he had bought me flowers, and he was really sweet. He used to buy me like all kinds of stuff all the time. I think it was probably his mother that bought me stuff, but he tried. Well, anyways, we were on the monkey bars, and he wanted to show me a trick, and he tried to do like this flip thing, and he fell, and all of a sudden his arm was like jello. He broke his arm in front of me, and I felt really bad. It was kind of a worse thing.
Not a good Valentine's Day.
No, I
No.
felt bad for him, and then I bought him a bunch of stuff because I was like, I'm sorry.
He's
that was a
all
good-
well
that was a
played,
great
well
trick.
played.
And I even went to the school dance with him and stuff, and then yeah. Now he's in prison, but
Whoa!
Wow.
Hold up! And the dark twist
Back
hits
it
there.
up for a second. You are not just going to skate over that one. No.
Well, it was middle school, and then high school. He got into like the gangs and stuff, and thought he was a homie
So-
G or I don't know. And then I found out years later, like, hey, have you heard about Robert? And I was like, no, I haven't. And they're like, oh, he's in prison. And I was like, oh.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
those-
sometimes but it was on and you know what? It's his birthday too. It was his birthday. That's right. It was his birthday. It was Valentine's, and he did that. And we were just having a good time. We were just hanging out, and then
William.
he fell.
Broke arm.
Like, you could hear it. Like you could hear it like crunch.
Oh.
And I remember being like, "Are you okay?" And he was just like screaming, and it was like jello,
Alarm.
jello, and like the way everyone picked him up and took him, and I was like, "Was that my fault?" And so I went home and I cried because I was like, I made a guy break his arm for me.
Oh my gosh.
No, it wasn't your fault. It was a dude doing stupid stuff to impress a girl.
We went to Walgreens and my nana made me buy him a bunch of stuff.
See,
Stuffed
in
animal.
that case,
Candy.
it worked in his favor.
Mm-hmm.
He got your sympathy and he got your attention.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it cost his parents a boatload in medical bills, but the plan of do something stupid in front of a girl, you may get it, worked in his favor on that one. There's been quite a few guys where it has not.
Okay, Jason, what do you have for us?
I've got a movie that came out back in the... Well, it's actually kind of two movies, but one's a remake from 2009. Mm-hmm. The other one is from 1981. Mm-hmm. Both made by Canada. If you ever watch any of their...
You mean made in Canada? Not made by Canada.
No, it was actually made by Canadians. It was a Canadian company. And it was filmed in Canada.
So made in Canada.
So, yeah.
Made in Canada, not
Made by Canada. The
not made
government-
by Canada.
Canada's government's making movies now.
Have you ever seen the infomercials from Canada? You know, the PSAs? Yeah, trust me. These guys know how to throw a sick twist on anything.
Hey.
They're the guys that go and show this wonderful, happy baby shower, and all of a sudden a woman pulls out a whistle, and the grandma goes, "That's a rape whistle."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That
Get to your story.
all right.
Jeez.
I was just giving some people the backstory about how messed up Canada
That's
can
the
be.
story you tell about Canada, and that's a rape whistle.
Oh, this one, yeah. Well, this one's called My Bloody Valentine.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Basically, it's it was made in 1981 by this Canadian slasher film. There was a mine in a town called Valentine Bluff. The supervisors who watch the mine to make sure if there's any methane buildup inside, they open the vents, air it out, and allow the miners to be safe. They had an annual Valentine's Day dance on Valentine's Day. Well, the two supervisors decide, well, methane levels look fine. Let's go to the dance. I'm sure it'll be fine when we get back. It wasn't. It built up, it exploded, caved in, and almost cost the lives of all the miners that were down there. There was about, I can't remember how many there was. There was, it doesn't say. I can't remember anymore. There's like 6 to 8 of them.
Mm-hmm.
By the time rescue crews were able to get there, because they heard the explosion, or someone did, and they mentioned, hey, there was an explosion at the mine. By the time they did, they only found one survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And he had pretty much resorted to cannibalism in order to survive, because it took him a few days to dig him out. I think he had an affair, at least.
Yeah.
Didn't need that. Well, that was the other reason why he also killed him, was to conserve the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I said he had an affair. Well, it ended up driving him
I thought you
insane.
said enough air. I thought you said enough fair. He had an affair. At least he had an affair.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said too. So
No, enough air, because
Yeah.
he ended up killing off the other miners so he could survive, but it drove him batty.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up sending him off to an insane asylum,
Mm-hmm.
where, following year, he escapes from and kills the two supervisors who had let the accident happen,
Yeah.
as well as some other people.
Oh my gosh.
And he did it on Valentine's Day. He would actually cut out their hearts and put them into a candy box and delivered it to the owner of the mine. So they, of course, they got him and they ended up killing him, and they buried the whole incident. They stopped the dance and they buried the entire incident. Nobody could remember it. Well, 20 years later, all the kids who were little kids, they're now grown-up teenagers, and a new mayor, well, it was the mayor's son, takes over, and he decides, we're going to redo the dance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody, all the older generation goes, no, you're going to bring back the slasher. Because remember, that the previous mayor and the sheriff killed off the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they buried that fact. They didn't let no one know, because if they knew, they just restart the dance like nothing ever happened. So they used that to help, keep you from doing the dance.
Yeah.
They're using it as a psychological warfare. Well, that's 20 years. Kids are like, if he ain't coming back yet, he's never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to throw the dance in. All of a sudden, a miner in the full gear, gas mask, and everything with a pickaxe goes around and starts killing people.
Mm.
Turns out it was actually the son of one of the supervisors who had witnessed the original miner, his name was Henry Warden, kill everybody. And, it left him a lot of psychological scars. Plus, he was trying to get on with the new mayor's daughter, so the original mayor's granddaughter, you could say. Didn't work out too well for him, because, after they finally, he kills like half the teenage population, basically, or at least a good chunk of it. They trap him in the mine, and, he rips his own arm off and says, I'll get my revenge, and runs off in the depths. And that's kind of how they end, with him laughing maniacally as he escapes.
yeah, was this based on a true story though? Or is it just a movie? Because you just said it was a movie. You didn't say it was based on a true story.
It wasn't based solely on a true story, but it does have a lot of elements of, like, the mine collapsing and
the
people
actual collapse.
committing the cannibalism and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That is based upon true events that did happen to coal miners back in the day. So there are elements of a true story. They just kind of embellish it to make it fit a Valentine's story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got one.
That's a good one though.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
There was
And
a
I think
remake
I-
in 2009
I think
called...
I saw the remake.
Yeah, My Blade Valentine
yeah.
3D. A lot of the same plot, few
Yeah.
changes here and there.
I think I was at a friend's house and it was one of those movies just playing in the background because I remember some of those. But yeah.
3D effects.
So, this happened on Valentine's Day. True story. The murder of Jodine Sarin. Valentine's Day in 2007, Art and Lois Sarin went to visit their 39-year-old daughter, Jodine, at her condo. Jodine was, I should also note, mentally disabled, but she was independent enough to live by herself, but had to get checked on frequently. Well, I guess her parents arrived to the door being chained and locked. Her dad broke in the door, found this man and her doing it in the bedroom. The dad kicked, "You need to leave, get your clothes on." And they left the room. And she never came out. And they went in there and found her dead in her bed, nude, and the guy's gone. And they did DNA evidence, and the man still has not been found.
So he killed her while their parents were still in the apartment.
Yep. They left the room to give him privacy to get clothes on, and
And when he came out of the room, they didn't like question
he
him or anything.
disappeared,
He disappeared.
vanished.
That's kind of weird.
That is
What did he do?
weird.
Just like stab her in the chest or something? Or
Beaten
strangle her?
and strangled to death.
Wouldn't they hear that?
They
Right?
should-
Or
you'd
maybe
think
they
they
just
would.
thought
It
they were
depends-
having
It depends on how well.
kinky sex, but
Or they did walk away to give him privacy to get clothes on. So
Yeah.
of course, when they hear some running around or
yeah.
some weird muffled noises, they probably thinking they're just having a bit of an argument. They're trying to keep it muffled. And
Maybe, yeah.
they're rummaging around to get their clothes on. There's one logical explanation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be looking heavily at to why.
Or
did
maybe the parents were hearing impaired,
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
It could've
Maybe.
been. I don't know. That's kind of.
but they never found out who the guy was, even with the DNA.
No, they.
And this was in
it-
2007.
Yep, they have not located that person yet.
Wow.
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah.
And I've got one more too. The most infamous thing that ever happened on Valentine's Day. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I was wondering
In
if someone would
Chicago.
bring that up. Of course, it'd be Illinois.
This is now.
That 7 people murdered in a garage.
The
Yeah.
Yeah. It was back in the day of Al Capone,
Yeah.
back in 1929.
Yep.
I thought it was a broad day shooting at a restaurant.
It was at 10:30 a.m. at a garage in the Lincoln Park neighborhood of Chicago's North Side.
Okay, so the story's been changed around and embellished multiple times over the years. Gotcha.
Yes. They were shot by 4 men using weapons that included 2 Thompson submachine guns.
Jeez.
That never changed.
No, that's never changed.
No matter what story you hear, that always remains.
Apparently, 2 of the shooters were wearing police
they're dressed as-
uniforms,
Yep, dressed as police uniform. Yep.
while the others wore suits, ties, overcoats, and hats. The victims included 5 members of the George Bugs Moran's North Side Gang.
That's a tongue. That's a.
Moran's second in command and brother-in-law, Albert Kachelik, also known as James Clark, was killed along with Adam Heyer, the gang's bookkeeper and business manager, Albert Weinshake, who managed several cleaning and dyeing operations for Moran, and gang enforcers Frank Gusenberg and Peter Gusenberg. But that happened on Valentine's Day in broad daylight at 10:30 a.m.
Wow.
1929.
And you know that had to be loud.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
with the
It-
Thompson submachine
Yeah,
guns?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those
There's
things
no
were
hiding any of
loud.
that. There's a movie, I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's a movie that kind of depicts that, but at a later time, like in the 70s, I think. I forgot what movie.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I was talking about.
Yeah,
with
and
how,
they lead them into the garage and everything. They're like talking, and then all of a sudden they get ambushed.
Yeah, there was one I remember where they were talking about it. It was some movie or whatnot. They mentioned it, but they said it was at a restaurant or. No, wait. I remember what it was. It was a gangster movie, And it was the same type of setup, but in a restaurant.
No.
But it was based upon the actual St. Valentine's Day murder because they had the two guys in uniform outside the restaurant. They just gunned everybody down inside the restaurant. But that's what I was getting. That's what I was remembering it from. Yeah, that Hollywood likes to go and take true stories and they'll just
Yeah.
flip the script a little bit on them and make it seem more theatrically appealing than just, a couple guys walking there talking with who they thought were friends or acquaintances, and all of a sudden, hey, by the way, brah, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the most infamous in the United States, at least.
Yeah. Like I said, it's been lent to books, movies, radio shows. I mean, all over media. That damn story has been shared. A lot more than the Saint of Valentine.
I wish I could think of a movie now that showed that.
So it just shows Valentine's Day isn't all
Didn't the
chocolate and hearts.
Untouchables show a scene of that?
Maybe it is that. I know. I can't
I can't remember if it was the
remember
TV
what's it.
series or the movie, or the original movie or the remake one. Or was it a TV series? I can't remember. I know it was one
It
with Kevin
wasn't Donnie
Costner. And
Brasco, was it? No.
who?
Donnie Brasco.
I don't think so, no.
I was going to say Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko. No.
Roscoe. P. Coltrane.
But they also did do a movie back in 1967. And it was called the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. It was a gangster film.
Sounds about right. Yeah, checks out.
That checks out. So Valentine's Day is not just
Oh, lovey-dovey.
lovey-dovey.
No.
It's also,
It's been commercialized and.
yeah.
It's a Hallmark
Hallmark
holiday.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Quit that, Andrew. Let me have my own thoughts there.
Oh, yeah, beware of Hallmark Channel. Because since Valentine's Day around the corner, you know it's going to be flooded with those movies. They do it every time there's a big celebration. Watch. Just pop it on. It's just flooded.
Yeah. Oh.
That was me. I had the cable
coming for
underneath the
you.
table, underneath the plate, and I was pulling on it from down here so it was moving. In case y'all wondering, I had a paper plate next to me, and I had my cable for my headset underneath of it. I was pulling it from underneath the table, and Stephanie saw it moving and got freaked out.
I was just like.
Yeah.
A levitating paper plate.
All right, Ghosty.
And I didn't even set that up at all.
No,
Yeah, that
it
just was a
perfect.
natural
It was,
occurrence.
like, perfect.
But anybody else have one?
No,
I got a whole list
you
of
hit-
ghost stories.
you hit the big one.
But
did.
none of them tops that, yeah. I mean, you got a romantic murder plot,
Yeah.
a
There's
forbidden love,
Yeah.
deathly love triangle,
Yeah.
bride on the
Hallmark
rich.
should get on this darker side of
Yeah,
Valentine's Day.
They should, you know. It's always so uplifting and like.
beautiful.
I love
your
They always get chosen.
And they
it's
always have it in a small town.
It's a small town, and someone comes in, and
They hate the town, but then
Yeah.
they fall in love and they stay.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Or like for Christmas, it's always they inherit a hotel,
Yeah.
and they're gonna sell it, but the townspeople convince them to redo it, and they fall in love with the handyman, and then everything's great. Yeah, no.
Hallmark.
No.
Hallmark Channel sucks.
they should get into the darker side of Valentine's
There
Day.
was one, I remember watching, it was a Christmas one, where a dude was traveling along, or it was a chick, one of the two, I can't remember now. Anyways, the main protag was traveling along and the car breaks down outside a sleepy little town like always. But here's the kicker though. Here's the twist they had. 7/8 of the movie, she wanted pretty much nothing, or the protag, I can't remember if it was a he or she, they wanted nothing to do with the town, the people, or the love interest. They made it through 7/8 of the movie. Now granted, getting close towards the end there, they were starting to realize, oh crap, I'm falling in love with all these people. But they were adamantly denying any sort of connection with these people. So I give I don't remember the name of that damn movie because I saw it once and I've never seen it again.
All right, guys.
I think they
Hallmark
realized
challenge.
I think they
No,
screwed up.
no,
the thing.
no, no,
No,
no, no.
We gotta
no.
watch one.
No. This is a challenge for Hallmark.
Oh.
Ah,
No,
To come up
Hallmark
with a
challenge.
dark movie?
I want
Oh, so
Hallmark
they
to get
can.
in a big city. Valentine's Day, but dark and scary.
It'll never happen.
No, it
There
doesn't.
is a show that
She would
it's
know.
small town. Yes, I would know because I have no life. Okay, like, there is a show, a small town, but they solve murders together.
Is it Nancy Drew
Oh my god!
or the Hardy Boys?
It's like
Or Scooby Doo. I like that. Yeah, I win. Damn it.
it's like Aurora Tea Garden.
What?
Gazoon type.
What?
Oh, let's go to the Aurora Tea
But
Garden.
they always like she's like a librarian, but she just knows all this information, and people get murdered in her town, and she solves it.
You
But
should have
every
seen
time-
Murder, She Wrote.
But every time, right?
Angela Lansbury.
But
Sounds like, don't it?
but every time she falls in love with someone,
They die.
They die.
no.
Okay, that's not
well,
Murder,
one
She
of
Wrote,
them.
then.
One of them they almost die, but like she stays with the same
Only
guy
one.
maybe 2 or 3 episodes, and then it's always a new guy after that.
So wait a
Well, good
minute.
for her.
Hold on.
Oh gosh, she rotates.
She's a kind of a slutty librarian.
She rotates out boyfriends like Star Trek rotates out red shirts.
She checks him in, checks him out.
Well, they're only in town for a little while.
They can't
They're
go
there
past
to
the due date.
investigate the case. They do their shenanigans and then they go. And of course, they never show it. You know, they don't even kiss on Hallmark sometimes.
That is true.
It's just,
It's usually only after the big reconciliation or big, confession moment. The climax of the film. Let's just go and say what it is. By the climax of the Hallmark film, that's when the kiss happens.
yeah, and it's usually just a like.
And then all of a sudden, like it's like a little smooch. 5 seconds later, here come the credits.
Yeah, it's just
It's like
very-
you're watching it going, well, that was an interesting climax, and it's over. Wait, what? Where the hell did that
Yeah,
belong?
it's like I
It's
wanted.
like you're
Just
like,
like real life.
I suffered through all this shit for
For
no
you.
epilogue. You just give me a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, peace out. Have
Right?
fun.
Just like real life.
Like I want you
Yeah,
so
good
bad,
point.
but I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Out.
peck your lips. Like no, that's.
Oh, it's been so. I mean, bye.
And like it's not even like.
And they
never
lived
mind.
happily ever after. The end. It's like, yeah, I don't feel satisfied with this movie at all.
No,
Okay, but now I have a fear of Tucson. It's been raining,
oh.
and I have to drive home,
It's hailing.
and we've had hail today, and
What
people
the
in
hell?
Tucson do not know how to drive when the roads are wet. So I'm fearful.
It's scary.
Same. Especially if I try to turn my wheel and hit the brakes same time, I go straight instead of turning. Yeah, I
Sounds
should've
like
had-
that.
But here's the thing. That's just what happens with me. That's how everybody else in this town, outside my two coworkers here, that's how everybody out in this town drives normally. Like they're trying to turn on a slick road while hitting the brakes.
Yeah.
It's scarier than hell.
Well, you're not supposed to be making the turn while you have the brakes on anyway. You're supposed to slow down before the curve or the turn.
I slow down. I start to make the turn, and just as I'm getting out of the brakes,
I ride
I'm
with
still
you every
going
once in a
straight.
while, and I know how you drive.
You drift.
No. My ass end still stays directly behind me. I go in a straight line. I'm an
No,
arrow.
drifter.
I do an arrow maneuver.
He drives a Prius. He doesn't drift.
Wrong one.
And they're labeled.
And
Yeah,
there's
no, they hit both
label.
at the same time. It was like, did you?
So a Prius will not drift no matter what.
I'm sure I can make
It does
do
drift. I've
Don't
seen
make
it drift.
Don't make-
I just gotta put some good tires on the front and have the crappy ones on the back. Then I can get a drift going.
Hit the e-brake.
Well, I can do that too.
Well-
I have a manual one, so
I don't have an e-brake.
yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. You drive a stick.
Oh
No.
no, sorry, it's a parking brake with a stick. It's not called an emergency brake. It's a parking, brake.
brake.
But mine is also electronic, so I don't have a stick to grab to do a
that's true.
J-turn.
No, he flips up that lever.
It's
It
gonna
will
go.
engage, but he'll have to come to a complete stop to disengage it. That's the problem. That thing will engage while it's moving, but to disengage, you gotta be already stopped and in neutral. That
Yeah.
bitch does not.
Don't
like,
hit that button.
No.
No.
I-10. Oops.
No, don't put that up.
Not putting that out there because Tucson's scary as enough.
Yes.
And we know people will
I
try
forgot
to
my
do it.
English. Tucson is scary enough. There we go.
Another good episode. Why are you looking at me like that?
It is another good episode in the books. Or I
Because
should say in
apparently
the
he
board.
already thinks that we're done recording.
We are.
This has been Fear in the Southwest podcast, y'all. This is Drew.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Lewis.
Stay scary. No one else? All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Last time I tried to do it,
You cut me off most of the time when I try to do it, so no.
have a good evening, people.